Hi everyone, welcome to Code Kamikaze YouTube channel and welcome to this GitLab series. In the last videos, we had discussed about the home components and features and projects and project settings, and we had discussed about bunch of features that are available in community edition of GitLab. So in this video, we will see how can we register a runner with the GitLab because end of the day, our main goal is that we'd like to use GitLab is for CI/CD, which is continuous integration deployment. And for the running the all your automation, you required one instance. So you required to attach an instance with the GitLab. So in GitLab terminology, we call it as a runner. And if you're familiar with other, say, CD tools such as Jenkins, you call it as a slave. And you can go with Azure DevOps, and we have different other CI/CD tool. So each CI/CD tool call this as its own terminology. But in GitLab, we call it as the runner. So since our agenda, it's our goal is to enable a CI/CD pipeline with the GitLab, and so if you want to enable the CI/CD pipeline with GitLab, so you're going to write a declarative pipeline in YAML. But if you want to execute that each stage and job, so you require a target server. So you require a server to run your all the tasks. So that's reason it's mandatory to integrate your GitLab with the runner or instance or node, or you can call it as any other name. So we have a different configurations, like you can take any cloud based runners such as AWS and Azure and Google Cloud and Alibaba. You can go over there, you can take any virtual server and you can configure it if you don't want to take any headache to maintain the servers as a physically. But on the other hand, we have a bunch of features also, like you can configure your own on-premises servers. So, and you can configure the remote servers also. That's up to your requirement. But today, I will show you how can you configure your own laptop as a GitLab runner. You heard correct. So we are going to configure own laptop, which is own laptop as a server, as a runner with a GitLab. So you can follow the same configuration even with any other remote servers such as AWS, GCP, or Azure. So the steps are same. There is no any other change, but you need to configure the security groups and routing tables and all like inbound and outbound roles. That's a basic thing you should have the fair knowledge about it. Other than this, nothing going to be changed. So let's not waste the time and let's deep dive into the concept, and we can look into that. How can we configure the GitLab runner on Windows, which we called as a Windows subsystem, and I'm going to tell you the kernel, which is Linux. So I have installed the Linux on Windows. So I have used the Windows subsystem Linux, so which we called as in short WSL. So, if you want, I can show you in the end of the video how can we take the WSL, how can we go to the Microsoft Store, and how can we install it. So that part we'll discuss at the end. But let's deep dive into like how can we integrate the our own laptop as a GitLab runner, as a slave, or whatever it may be, and how can we test it. So if the main feature main setting you want to go if you want to configure runner with the GitLab. So as we discussed already yesterday, so since we are integrating runner with this DevSecOps repository, and we have the settings features over here, just come down directly over here. You can see the settings. So in the settings we already discussed, like if you want to do any configuration related to CI/CD, so you should go to the CI/CD section. So once you go to say section, we have the general auto DevOps runners and other. So we have discussed all the things in yesterday's session. In the last session. So if you haven't watched the session, so please go and watch the sessions of uh, settings in project or project settings. So if you want to configure runner with the GitLab, so you should have to come to here and expand this feature. And you can see there's like how do runner pick up the job active and past. So you can go to the bunch of configurations over here. And if you want to configure runner with your project, so you just need to come over here and three dots. So if you want to take the copy of your registered token, you can take it. And but support registration of tokens are deprecated because the GitLab has passed the I think 15th version. So they are going to deprecate it. So you can stay aware of what how if you're watching this video in the next next years, next coming years. So you can go to the latest configuration of GitLab, not to stick with this video. But as of now, you can stick with this process, how can register a runner with GitLab. So you can look into that. We have the token over here, and if you don't want to do that, and if you want to get the instructions to follow, so you can just click on show runner installation and registration instructions. So if you click on this, it will take time to load. So we have the bunch of flavors environments. Already you know that you can configure runner as a Linux, Mac OS, Windows, Docker, Kubernetes, and AWS. So you can see you have architecture which is AMD 64 and 60, ARM and 386. We have different flavors over here. So since I mentioned, I'm going to install runner as on Windows subsystem Linux. So for that, I have already installed WSL and I have already installed Ubuntu on Windows. So I'm going to call it. So I'm going to call Ubuntu over here, and let's wait for time to get up. Okay. So I'm going to switch as a root user. So the command is sudo -s. I'm going to uh, pass the password for this. So, oh, okay. Now I became a root user. So first I need to download the binaries. So I'm going to copy this command. So while you're copying this command, it may take time to download your binaries. So depend on your internet speed, and come here and paste this command. So here what you are doing, like going to call this particular URL with Amazon S3. They kept all the binaries on S3. So you're going to call those binaries, and it will get downloaded. Before that, what I will do, I will create the separate repository. So what I will do, cd runner, no file, okay, sorry, mkdir runner. So I'm going to create a fresh directory over here, and I will install all the bindings over there. So what I will do, mkdir runner. So I have created a folder called runner and cd runner. So I am instead of this directory, and I don't have any files instead of this directory. So I will do clear, and what I will do, I'll just copy this command and paste over here. So as already mentioned, depends on your internet speed. It will take time to get downloaded, and it is 61 MB. So for time being, what I will do, I'll just pause this video and I resume it once it is get downloaded. Okay, so the binaries was downloaded over here, and if I do, sorry, so it was downloaded on this output folder. My bad. So anyway, like binaries were downloaded. So let's go back and give a permissions of executed, like chmod permission of particular folder, which is user local bin and GitLab runner. So I have given it. And next one, so create a GitLab runner with a user which is called as GitLab runner. So in my case, I think I have already added it, but let's see. So yeah, it's saying that GitLab runner already exists. So just for a POC purpose, like before, recording this video, I have a configure it. So that's why it is getting already exist. But in your case, it won't reflect if you are configuring GitLab runner in your WSL Linux as a first time. And the next one, install and run as a services. So just copy this, like sudo GitLab runner install, and you need to give the user and work directory, and this is the one. So if I give this one, so uh, okay, so it's saying that init already exists, which means like this services already exist. So that's why it is unable to install it. In my case, like as I mentioned, already install all these configurations before recording this video. But in our case, so this is the way you can follow the steps. The next one, so this is the next one, like you need to um, no, this is okay. First, you need to register it. It's my bad. So you have to register it, then only can start it. So just copy this one, and it will ask you to instance URL, which means your GitLab URL. You can directly come over to your GitLab URL. So just copy this one, https://gitlab.com, and copy this, paste over here, press enter. So since you have in a command line itself, you have passed the registration token, which you are used for registering your GitLab runner. So you don't need to speak explicitly mention over here. Just press on enter, and it will ask you the description of this runner. So I will mention this This is my first runner for GitLab SERIS series. So this is the description I have given, and enter the tag. So tags are more important while you are configuring to your GitLab C.YAML file, because you can call multiple runners. So while you're calling multiple runners, you call it as a tag itself. So for this runner, what I will do, I'll give the tag as a first runner. So first runner is a tag name for this. So I'll press enter, and optional maintenance notes for runner. So it's optional description. You can mention it. So I mention that I will use it for DevSecOps project in GitLab. So it will take some time. So if you see here, so run an execution. So after that, it is giving some executor command, like how you want to execute your script into this runner. So already we had seen, like, we have a bunch of executors, let's say as custom executors, cell executor, parallels, Docker plus machines, and Docker autoscalers, instance, SSH, and VirtualBox, Docker, and Docker Windows and Kubernetes. So you can take advantage of all these executors. You can use any one of these one executor. So, and you can run your all the task on this runner. So in my case, like, I'll go with a very minimal one. I'll use a shell executor. So since we had been using it, like, we use a shell executor for Kubernetes, for Jenkins and other CI/CD tools. So I didn't want to make this series as more complicated. So I'll give it as a very um, more interactive way to configure all the runners and configuration with GitLab. So once you enter shell, so you just press enter, and if you see this, runner is registered successfully. Free for you to start it, but if your runner is already configured, it should be automatically reloaded. If you see here, like, if you want to get it, so you can mention this command. So sudo runner start, so it gets started. And if you want to get list of runners, so just pass the command GitLab hyphen runner list. So if you pass this command in a command line, it will give the list of runners. So if you see, guys, like, we have a bunch of runners. So I had been configured, but yeah. So the one which we have configured recently, which is this is my first runner, first GitLab series. So this is how you can configure runner, and you can look into that. And if you want to get the status of runner, so you can specify the status. Sorry. So the service is running, which means the GitLab Runner service is running, and this is our configuration. This is our Linux and PID ID and revision and version of our GitLab. So this is the basic information, like you can configure, by using WSL Windows Subsystem Linux, and you can configure GitLab Runner on it. So if you have done this activity configuring it, so if you see here, we haven't refreshed the page since starting of this video. So if I restart, if I refresh this page, what will happen? The runner which we have configured, it will appear over here under this new project. So let's do that. If I just refresh this page, let's wait. So just come up and just expand the tab of this runner. And if you see these guys, like, we have the assign project runner. So the description of this runner is like, this is the my first runner for GitLab series. And what is the tag? So we are given tag as the first runner. So this is how we can configure the runners, and this is the idea of that. And you can get bunch of information. And if you want to, pause from accepting jobs, like, you don't want to, since you are working on multiple runners and you don't want to get schedule all the jobs in this runner, so what you can come, just come here and just pass it. So it won't it will go on away mode, so it won't be active. And if it is the automatically passed it, it automatically refresh the page and it will pass it. And if you want to resume it, so you just resume it and clicking on the same button. So once you press on resume, it will automatically refresh the page and it will accept the jobs from now if you use the tag. The next one, so we have the edit option also. And in this edit, you can mention what all protected and untagged jobs. You can configure it, like what all information you want, and you can give the description as as dynamically over here. We have given this direction description in our runner, right? So while you are configuring here, but it has been appended over here the GitLab, because like that's the reason we have make a handshake between our runner with the GitLab. And maximum timeout, so how much number of seconds and how much number of hours you want to keep to get timeout of each jobs. And if you want to change the tag, so you can change the tag over here also. So I given a first runner. So if you want to get any more customized names as per the project or as per any other uh, title names, you can configure it over here, and you can do your own customization. So once everything is done, you can save it. So this is about the saving the runner. So you can come out of the CI/CD settings. So if you see this active state is yes, and come down with the expands. So if you see this guys, the runner is active now, and you don't want to use this runner into a project. So if you want to remove it, so just press on remove runner, and it will get removed from your GitLab. So if you press on remove runner, so it will get removed from your GitLab runner section. Come, yeah. So if you see this, it is disappear now. So this is how you can configure the runner. You can remove the runner, and you can pass the runner. You can resume the runner for your jobs or your task into GitLab. So that's all for this lecture, like how you can configure the GitLab runner with a runner with GitLab. And the next section, we'll see a sample execution of GitLab c.yaml file, and we'll see what all keywords and can be used for executing a sample jobs, and how can we use a specific project runner to getting execution of jobs. So thanks for watching this video, and I'm going to stop this session over here. And feel free to drop your comments in comment section, and please share this video to your friends or whoever or really need to learn GitLab. And that's all for today. Bye bye. See you in the next session.